Brahmanda Purana, Part 4, Lalita Mahatmya, Chapter 18. The victorious march of the army of Lalita Paramesvari. Lalita moved ahead with the intention of waging war. She was assisted by Rajanayika. The god in her hand blazed forth. She held a noose which appeared like a serpent. Her bangles made a pleasing tinkling sound as she held the sugarcane bow and a set of 5 flowery arrows shining brightly. She scattered a cascade of radiance from her person in all directions. It was more dazzling red than 1,000 suns. Radiating the luster of her face in all directions, she made the sky appear as though filled with moons. She was radiant with the circular white umbrella held above her, which gained the friendship of the sphere of the moon, that is, resembled it. It, the umbrella, had an extent of 10 yojanas, which pervaded the three worlds and which was studded with spotlessly pure white pearls. She was fanned by the groups of female attendants, the chief of whom were Vijaya and others, with a set of 4 chauris, that was rendered splendid by means of jewels and precious stones, and that was as lovely as the cluster of lotuses or the spreading waves of lustre of fresh moonlight. She was endowed with a spotlessly pure refulgence. She indicated her sole suzerainty by means of her Shakti, power, weapon, javelin. All the sections of her army were embellished by means of hundreds of imperial insignia. Her wealth and grandeur were being eulogized by the vocal as well as instrumental music of the celestial deities. She justifiably assumed and adopted the honor and pride of the imperial wealth that filled up the cavities of the three worlds with troops of Shaktis, the various deities assisting goddess. The pride could not be expressed in words, nor could it be comprehended by means of intellect. It could not be defined clearly by stating it is like this or that. It could not be compared with anything else. She shed benign glances on the faces of all excellent Suras, the chiefs of whom were Brahma, Isha, Vishnu, and Vrisha Indra, as they uttered prayers continuously, offered their services with a spirit of eagerness, and vying with one another with palms joined together and kept close to their diadems. She at once rendered the three worlds perfectly luminous by the refulgence arising from the 5 flowery arrows that shone brightly. Auspicious shower of fried grains, scattered by groups of celestial damsels having a refulgence like the streak of lightning, indicated their hope and wish for her victory. She was being ever served at her feet by Kameshwari and others of lovely and desirable lustre, who were very charming in their martial dress and accoutrements, who were eternal and who obscured the sun, that is, surpassed the sun, by means of lustre of their glistening weapons. In the course of her martial activity, she drove her chariot that had the excellent name Shri Chakra, that scraped the lustre of clouds high above by means of flagstaffs more than 10 yojanas in height, and that was equipped with the power of continuously making roaring and rumbling sounds. In that war, that is, preparation for war, she had the tawny color as she was robed in such a garment free from impurities. She glittered with charming splendor. Lalita moved ahead with an intention for waging war as she was being eulogized by the gods through 25 epithets of great value, like precious stones, and which were exceedingly competent to subdue sins of the whole world. Agastya said, O Hayagriva of great intellect, give me that elixir of life gratifying and regaling my ears through the 25 names of Lalita Parameshani. Hayagriva said, the 25 names, here is a footnote that says, the author seems fond of presenting series of epithets like garlands. He gave of 12 epithets of Dandanatha, Potrini, 16 of Shyamala or Shyamala Mantrini, 16 of Shyama or Shyamala Mantrini. Here, 14 to 19, he strings together 25 epithets of Lalita. Hayagriva said, the 25 names are Simhasana, Shri Lalita, Maharajni, Parankusha, Chapini, Tripura, Mahatripura Sundari, Sundari, Chakranatha, Samragyi, Chakrini, Chakreshwari, Mahadevi, Kameshi, Parameshwari, Kamarajapriya, Kamakotiga, Chakravartini, Mahavidya, Shivananga Ballabha, Shivananga Ballabha, Sarvapatala, Kulanatha, Amnayanatha, Sarvamnaya, Sarvamnaya Nivasini, and Srinagaranaika. Those who eulogize Lalita Parameshwari of great dignity through these 25 names will attain good fortune, the 8 siddhis, and great reputation. Thus, Thus Lalita, the Divine Mother, who was furious with Bhandasura, moved ahead, deploying the great army of elaborate preparation and great impetuosity.